It's a beautiful morning in the neighborhood. Okay, Nix, go to the bathroom. And off he goes, racing through the neighborhood, until he finds the perfect spot.
Welcome to Yoldai's Pet Corner.
When I first heard about the red panda, I assumed the internet was trolling me. A raccoon-looking acrobat with a fiery coat, a ringed tail for balance, that climbs trees, eats bamboo, and somehow isn't a giant panda's cousin? Sounds fake until you meet one. The truth is stranger. For decades, scientists argued where it belonged. Not a bear, not a raccoon, not a weasel, not a cat. Instead, the red panda sits alone in its own family Ailuridae. It's a living fossil, walking a lonely evolutionary path. If red pandas vanish, an entire branch of life vanishes with them. Today, the red panda, Ailurus fulgens, is a specialist, perfectly adapted to the high temperate mountain forests of the eastern Himalayas and southwestern China. Their world is a narrow band of territory stretching across Nepal, Bhutan, northern India, Myanmar, and southern China. Imagine cold, misty slopes where dense bamboo thickets provide both food and cover. This remote sanctuary is all that remains of a much grander, ancient story, a story that stretches back millions of years and spans entire continents. Fossil evidence reveals that the red panda's ancestors once roamed as far as North America and Europe. But over millennia, dramatic climate shifts and intense competition from more adaptable species gradually squeezed their domain. They were pushed into a final refuge, the isolated Himalayan strongholds where they survive today. These creatures are true survivors, their lineage trimmed and sculpted by the relentless pressures of a changing planet. For a long time, this unique evolutionary history created a puzzle for scientists. For more than a century, their odd mix of traits baffled taxonomists. Were they small bears, a type of raccoon, or perhaps related to weasels and badgers? They were classified in all these families at different times, a testament to their distinctiveness. It took modern genetics to finally solve the riddle. The red panda belongs to its own exclusive family, Ailuridae. They are a singular, ancient lineage with no close living relatives, a living fossil. This biological rarity makes them utterly priceless, a lone branch on the tree of life. To survive on bamboo, the body bargains with time. To survive on bamboo, the red panda's body bargains with time. Like the giant panda, its diet is almost exclusively bamboo, but here's the evolutionary twist. The red panda belongs to the order Carnivora. Its digestive system is short and simple, built for processing meat, not for breaking down tough plant cellulose. This makes it a remarkably inefficient vegetarian, absorbing only about a quarter of the nutrients from the bamboo it eats. To solve this energy crisis, it adopts a life of extreme conservation. Movements are slow and deliberate, and much of the day is spent napping to preserve precious calories. Most active at the cooler hours of dawn and dusk, a red panda may spend up to 13 hours a day simply eating. It meticulously selects the most tender shoots and youngest leaves, which are higher in nutrients and easier to digest. Even then, it must consume a staggering amount, up to a third of its body weight daily, just to get by. When the opportunity arises, it supplements this meager diet with fruit, insects, or even a bird's egg, a welcome boost of sugar and protein. Foraging rarely stops because for the red panda, every calorie counts. Evolution has offered a helping hand, a modified wrist bone that acts as a false thumb, providing the grip needed to hold bamboo stalks steady while eating. It's a masterful adaptation for a life spent in the balance. This is an animal built for branches and tuned for quiet, a carnivore turned vegetarian, whose entire existence is a delicate act of energy economics. Red pandas are masters of the canopy, true specialists of a life lived among the branches. Every part of their body is a finely tuned instrument for this arboreal world. Their semi-retractable claws, sharp as needles, provide an essential grip on slippery bark, allowing them to scale vertical trunks with astonishing ease. But it's their descent that truly showcases their unique anatomy. Exceptionally flexible ankles can rotate nearly 180 degrees, enabling them to climb down trees head first, a rare skill among mammals. All the while, their long, bushy tail acts as a dynamic counterbalance, steadying every delicate step along precarious limbs. This magnificent tail isn't just for balance. On cold Himalayan nights, it doubles as a thick, insulating scarf wrapping around the body for warmth. Their survival hinges on subtlety. The iconic reddish-brown fur isn't for show, it's a cloak of invisibility, perfectly blending with the rust-colored moss and lichen that drape the trees. Imagine a silent, ghost-like figure drifting through the dense morning fog. They endure not through brute strength, but through camouflage and quiet agility. This same careful, deliberate approach defines how they raise their young. Breeding season peaks in the late winter, a time of stark beauty in their high-altitude home. After a gestation period of about 130 days, a mother seeks out a secluded sanctuary to give birth. She'll deliver a litter of 1 to 4 tiny cubs in a carefully chosen nest, often a hollow tree, a sheltered rock crevice, or a dense thicket of bamboo. When they arrive, the cubs are blind, helpless, and completely dependent on their mother for everything. For the first several weeks, she rarely leaves their side, dedicating herself to grooming, warming, and nursing them. To outsmart predators like snow leopards, she may even move the cubs between several different nests. Their eyes open around 18 days, and by 3 months, they begin to cautiously explore the world just outside the den. By 8 to 10 months, they are mostly independent. The father plays no part in raising them, an efficient but fragile single-mother strategy. This subtlety works until the forest frays. Fewer than 10,000 red pandas remain in the wild. The real number may be lower. Their biggest pressures, habitat fragmentation, deforestation, poaching, and climate change that alters bamboo. Each one chips away at already small populations. Because they persist in isolated mountain forests, even small disruptions hit hard. Corridors and connected habitats keep genes moving and families stable. Remember, they're the only living member of their family. Lose them, and an entire evolutionary branch disappears. Stay with me. So the unanswered question: how does an animal on low-nutrition bamboo, living mostly alone in cold mountains, reproducing slowly, keep going at all? The answer lies in scent marks, clever territories, and predator awareness adaptations tuned to rough terrain. In Part 2, we'll decode those hidden behaviors, territorial signals, avoidance strategies, and the real reason red pandas have lasted this long. Tiny choices, paths, scents, sleeping spots add up to survival. And now let's step into the backyard and see Rocky. He's waiting by the gate, tail thumping like a drum.
Howdy, Ailuridae and Rocky here for Ailuridae's Pet Corner. Last week we got 14 subscribers, best week ever. 14 birds here. Rocky gets, I said that I would be bringing Rocky on. Here he is. Rocky, take your phone. There you go. Now, a couple of things about the channel is that right now we are in version 2.0. Been in it for about 2 weeks now. We are also starting this week going into version 2.5, and that's going to be bringing in a narration for the short forms. As soon as we get that all hammered out, then it'll be going and pushing through to the long form videos. Like I said, last week we got 14 subscribers. Got 14 bones minus the one that old Rocky over there is sitting there chewing on. Again, thank you very much. And out.
Welcome back, folks. While Rocky's busy guarding the backyard, we're heading back to the Himalayas to finish the story of one of the most unique and surprising survivors on Earth, the red panda. In Part 1, we unraveled its mysterious identity, discovering it's not a bear, a raccoon, or a cat. Instead, it stands alone as the only living member of its own ancient evolutionary family, Ailuridae, a true living fossil. We saw how this remarkable creature has carved out a life high in the remote mountain forests, thriving in the cold between 7,000 and 12,000 feet. We also explored its specialized toolkit for survival, a bamboo-heavy diet that provides just enough energy, incredibly flexible ankles that rotate for headfirst climbing, and a special false thumb for gripping slippery stalks. We learned that red panda mothers are devoted but solitary, raising their cubs alone in hidden nests high in the trees. All of this left us with a big question. How does an animal with such a low-energy diet, a fragmented habitat, and a naturally small population manage to survive at all in a changing world? The answer, it turns out, lies not in strength, but in efficiency. The answer starts with a simple, powerful principle: energy. While many animals try to dominate their environment, red pandas have a different philosophy they conserve. This is a crucial adaptation because, despite being classified as carnivores, their diet is mostly low-calorie bamboo. To compensate, their metabolism is incredibly low, one of the lowest for any mammal of their size. They move slowly and deliberately, spending up to 13 hours a day resting in trees, all to preserve precious calories. Unlike aggressive predators, red pandas rely on a mantra of efficiency. Climb carefully, eat steadily, avoid confrontation. Every action is measured. Survival isn't about demonstrating power, it's about smart, quiet budgeting of their energy reserves. This principle of conservation extends to their social lives. Red pandas are mostly solitary. Each adult maintains its own territory, which it marks using scent glands located near the base of the tail and on the pads of its feet. These quiet signals are like scented sticky notes, letting others know that this space is occupied, which helps everyone keep a respectful distance. When they do need to communicate, they do so subtly, through high-pitched whistles, soft twittering sounds, and gentle huff-quacks. These calls are essential for avoiding conflict and for finding mates during the brief breeding season. They don't roar, they don't challenge. They signal quietly and move on. It's a world of quiet signals for quiet lives. Red pandas don't start drama. They basically leave a scented sticky note that says, "Hey, this tree's taken. Appreciate you." Red pandas face threats from snow leopards, martens, and birds of prey. Territorial scent marks say, "Move along, no conflict needed." Quiet signals quiet lives. Their first defense is stillness. Their red-brown fur blends with moss and lichen-covered trees. From a distance, they look like part of the forest itself: branches, bark, and fog. Camouflage buys time, trouble passes by. If threatened, they climb higher. If cornered, they stand upright on hind legs to seem larger, sharp claws ready as a last defense. But fighting is rare. Avoidance is their strategy, always. But while a red panda can hide from a snow leopard, it can't hide from a bulldozer. The greatest threat it faces isn't a predator, it's the slow, silent fracturing of its world. This is habitat fragmentation. Red pandas are bamboo specialists, and their high-altitude bamboo forests are being relentlessly carved up by roads, logging operations, and expanding farmland. At the same time, climate change is altering the very rhythm of the forest, causing bamboo to grow at different altitudes or decline altogether. For a red panda, this is catastrophic. When a patch of forest can no longer support them, they can't simply pack up and move. These new man-made barriers turn their vast mountain homes into a series of disconnected, isolated islands in the sky. Living on an island means you're cut off. Small, isolated populations become dangerously vulnerable to genetic decline. Think of it like a small town where nobody new ever moves in. With fewer paths between forests, red pandas can't find unrelated mates, and the gene pool shrinks. This leads to inbreeding and a loss of the genetic diversity that helps a species adapt to disease and change. Over time, this genetic bottleneck makes recovery incredibly difficult, a problem made worse for a slow-breeding specialist that raises only a few cubs in its lifetime. But there is hope, woven into the fabric of these same mountains. Conservation programs across Nepal, Bhutan, India, and China are working to stitch the canopy back together. Their focus is on creating and protecting forest corridors, safe passages that reconnect the islands. This work is supported by dedicated anti-poaching patrols, community-led forest management, where local people become guardians of their environment, and vital research that tracks red panda movements to understand exactly where these connections are needed most. In parallel, carefully managed captive breeding programs in zoos around the world act as a genetic safety net. But everyone agrees that preserving wild habitat remains the absolute top priority, because saving a species like this isn't just about protecting a cute animal, it's about preserving a living fossil, a unique branch of the evolutionary tree that has survived for millions of years, perfectly adapted to a world that is now quietly vanishing. Here's the reveal. Red pandas haven't survived because they're strong. They've survived because they're quiet specialists. They mastered one niche cold mountain bamboo forests and perfected it. They conserve energy. They avoid conflict. They live carefully. In a loud and aggressive world, the red panda survives by doing the opposite. Join us for Furry Friends Rescue Fridays, where we highlight incredible animals who rescue humans and change lives. Hey, let's go see what Rocky's up to and check in on his pups.
Hey, enjoying our stories? Buy my dad a coffee, thanks. On behalf of myself, my pups, and my dad, we thank you for watching.
Please remember to like
and subscribe. We get bones.